Ladies and gentlemen, this is Brennan Ingram back with another live stream here. So today I'm going to be, this morning I'm going to be reviewing last night's Monday Night Raw. It won't be no results and review, unfortunately, because let me tell you why I put results and review. Results and review means I'm going to be doing the matches on the game from last night's from one of last night's brands. And review means I'm just going to be reviewing and telling you everything that went on with the brand, with one of the three brands in the WWE. So this is going to be just a review for today. Tune in. Before I get started, I just want to say, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that Wednesday night I am gonna be reviewing NXT when it goes off air. I'm gonna be watching NXT. After I watch it, I'm gonna review it. I'm gonna do a review on NXT. Hopefully, if they have some matches on the card for tonight, hopefully I'll do the matches on my review, so I can give y'all an insight on what happened with those matches on Wednesday night's NXT. For what happened with those matches on Wednesday night's NXT. Wednesday hasn't came yet, so can't go too far ahead. Right now, this is a Monday Night Raw review. So let's focus on that. So before I get started reviewing Monday Night Raw, be sure you hit that like, subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the live streams I do on this channel. And if I can get some views, please. For those of you who didn't watch Monday Night Raw, I suggest you join my broadcast and have a listen to me review to you what all happened, what all went down last night on Monday Night Raw. So, if you want to, first of all, if you want to read the WWE Raw Results, April 6, 2020, for yourself, if you want to read the April 6, 2020 Monday Night Raw Results for yourself, all you have to do is go to www.ringsidenews.com. And once you go there, you see, of course, the three white lines on the left. You click that, and you see where it says WWE Results. You click that, and as soon as you click that, right on your screen, it'll show WWE Raw Results, April the 6th, 2020. You click that, and it'll tell you what all went down. So, I'm basically going to be reading this article that someone wrote. So, be sure you follow me on Twitter and follow me on Facebook. Be sure you follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook page that I created to post my review and stuff on, that I'm going to be boosting up very, very soon. Don't worry, like, sooner than later I'm going to boost it up, and it's going to have a lot of views on it. It's going to have a lot of engagements and reaches on it. There's going to be a lot of people reached, and it's going to have a lot of engagements on it, probably, and so on. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, follow me, subscribe to my Twitch, even though I don't be on there much. Still subscribe to my Twitch, too. And we are ready to get started with this. Let's go ahead and get on started with this review. So, now I'm getting ready to tell y'all what all went down on Monday Night Raw. So, ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night Raw opens up with highlights from the Wrestlemania main event, in which Drew McIntyre dethroned Brock Lesnar to become the first ever Scottish WWE champion. And I did take the time to go to Twitter to congratulate him on his victory. And after that, it was the first match of the night, Asuka versus Liv Morgan. Of course, speaking of Liv Morgan, I did take the time to congratulate her last night on her victory over Natalya last night. I mean, on her victory over Natalya, not last night, but 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago, Wrestlemania 36 Part 2, that she picked up a victory over Natalya by rolling her up for the 1-2-3. So, I did take Twitter to congratulate her on her victory over Natalya. But unfortunately, last night was a whole different story. So, let me tell y'all what all occurred between this match between Asuka and Liv Morgan. So, the match gets underway and Asuka talks rapidly in Japan, or Japanese, however you want to call it. They go back and forth with some pin attempts until Asuka clobbers Liv with a hip attack. So then Liv counters an Irish whip with a Hurricane Rana. Liv runs at Asuka in the corner, but nobody's home. So Asuka gets kicked back. Then Liv hits a springboard dropkick that sends Asuka to the floor. So then Morgan goes out after Asuka but gets slammed into the apron. Asuka rolls her back into the ring, but Liv catches Asuka with her feet and swings back out with a Hurricane Rana on the floor. Liv runs at Asuka but gets clocked with a headlock as they go to commercial break. So back from commercial, basically Asuka had Liv down by the arm and stomps her ribs. Morgan fought to her feet, but throws a few rights at Asuka but gets thrown backwards. Asuka runs at Liv but gets kicked away. Then Liv leaps over Asuka. The Empress throws Liv up and drills her with a knee to the face for a near fall. Asuka does a little dance, then kicks and chops Liv Morgan with her boot. Asuka swings a kick, Liv ducks it and rolls her up for a near fall. Liv hits a springboard Kohlberger and both women are down. So those of you that haven't watched Raw, you better be listening. You better be on here listening. If you want to know what all happened on Monday Night Raw, I suggest you stay on this live stream. Live stream and listen to me listen to me review to you what all happened on Monday Night Raw, like I'm doing now. So to those of you who haven't watched Monday Night Raw, you better stay on here and have a listen, because this is for you. And this is only for you people who don't get to watch Monday Night Raw. Just like Friday Night SmackDown and NXT. I do a review on those too, you know that. Those of you that are subscribed to my channel knows that already. So, anyways. Nonetheless, Liv ducks a clothesline and lands a few flying forearms and an enziguri. Morgan with a double stomp to Asuka's back in the corner for a near fall. So then Asuka attempts an armbar. So yeah, Asuka attempts a armbar. But Liv rolls her up for a 2 count. Asuka hits a snap German suplex followed by a shining wizard, but Liv gets on her feet. Liv gets her foot on the bottom rope. Liv jumps at Asuka but misses and hits the ropes, and Asuka gets her in the Asuka lock. Liv rolls back, but Asuka kicks, turns her over. They fight back and forth in the hole, but Liv eventually taps. So that was a good win for Asuka after WrestleMania. For her first victory after WrestleMania, that was good for Asuka. It was a great win for Asuka, but also it should have been Liv Morgan that should have won that match, because remember, she had her first victory over Natalya 2 days ago. Excuse me for that. I have a hard time keeping my, you know. Some people have hard times keeping up with pay-per-views, but I don't. I know when they go off. I know what time they all go off. All pay-per-views go off at the same time except for WrestleMania. So after that match after Asuka's victory over Liv Morgan, we see highlights of Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler on Saturday night. Basically, Lynch was interviewed by Charlie Caruso backstage after the match. And she says she has been champion for 1 full year now. One full year. She's been champion for 1 full year. Charlie asks her about Baszler. She asks about Baszler, and Becky says that she was incredible, that Baszler is unmatched in the wrestling business in terms of her skill set. WrestleMania was a test of skill versus heart, and her heart won. We see Shayna cut a promo after the match, and she says the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. For Becky, I promise you the agony of my defeat. So then, it went on commercial break after that. And I don't know why they had so much commercial breaks. It said, I was told by my sources, I was told by some of the wrestling channels, I seen some of the wrestling channels post on Twitter that they had too much commercials. Yeah, they did. Even including JD off the script, the guy said they had too much commercials and crap. And then there was something that I agree. There's something else that I agree with him on. Something else that I 100% definitely agree with him on. I'm gonna tell you about it in a minute. And everybody else on Twitter was saying something about it too. And some of the podcast people that do their channels, they were saying something, that do their reviews on wrestling. They just said something about it too on Twitter yesterday. And I took matters in my own hands and said something about it myself too. And I think they were right. I personally think they was correct on what they said. You know, I think it should have never been changed. I think it should have just stayed the way it was, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about in just a few minutes. So when they came back from commercial break, you know, I think the Street Profits were already entering the ring, and then it was Angel Garza, Austin Theory with Selena Vega. So then the match start, you know, and in the middle, when we get to the match with Bianca Belair with the Street Profits versus Selena Vega and Austin Theory and Angel Garza, I'm gonna have something to say about. I'm gonna have something to say about those matches. And what I didn't like about what WWE did, and what decision WWE made at that time during those matches. Alright, so Andrew Dawkins starts against Angel Garza, but he immediately backs up and tags Austin Theory. So they lock up, and Dawkins goes to the side headlock. Then Theory wipes him off, but Dawkins shoulder tackles him down. They hit the ropes. and each do a leapfrog before Dawkins takes him down with another person. So yeah, Dawkins takes him down with another shoulder block. Montez Ford tags in and drop kicks Theory. They give Garza a flapjack onto Theory before hitting stereo dropkick to knock them out of the ring. Sorry about that. Why my nose keeps doing that. Anyways, this is the third time these two teams have wrestled in the past 2 weeks. And each time the match has started with the exact same sequence. Commercial break, and when they came back from commercial break once again to see Theory get out of a chin lock, then avoid a spinning avalanche in the corner, Dawkins drops him on the apron, but Theory snaps him off the ropes before hitting a rolling thunder dropkick. So then, what else? Oh yeah, so then Theory applies a front face lock, then tags Garza in, who kicks Dawkins, not Dawson, excuse me. Ringside News need to correct that. They said they put Dawson instead of Dawkins. Dawkins in the it was Garza tags in and who kicks Dawkins in the gut. I just thought that was inappropriate. Anyways, Garza applies a modified surfboard. So he applies a modified surfboard stretch, but Dawkins fights it. Angel knees him in the face and tags Theory in. Theory knows Dawkins down and stomps the chest. So before that, so Dawkins fights it, of course. Again, Angel nears him in the face and tags Theory in. So Theory knees Dawkins down and stomps the chest. Theory kicks Dawkins in the back before applying another front face lock. Dawkins tries to fight back, but Theory knees him. Angel tags in and attacks the leg before bending the knee. So then Theory tags back in and stomps Angelo before applying a rear chin lock. Dawkins fights up, blocks a super kick, and connects with an exploder suplex. So then Ford and Garza tags in. And then Ford hits a springboard cross body block before hitting a pair of clotheslines and a dropkick. Garza ducks another clothesline, but Ford connects with a DDT and kips up. So then Ford goes to the top rope as Theory distracts the referee. The referee catches her anyway and calls for the bell. Her as in Zelina Vega. She got caught by the referee. Alright, so here is the part that made me mad. Right here. So, after the match, Garza kicks forward down and holds him up for Zelina Vega to kick him. Bianca Belair, only for Bianca Belair to come out and slams Vega. The Street Profits clear the ring of Theory and Garza. Belair gets on the mic and says she goes here now. She's the EST of WWE. The goal is tough, as strong, as smart, as fastest, and Vega can't outrun her. Belair challenges her to a match. So this is what makes me mad. This is what made me mad. There was something that WWE did during this time that made me mad. I'm gonna tell you in a minute. I'm gonna look up one of my So here's what made me mad. WWE kept changing the matches 3 times, and it was so it I don't know. It had a lot of people questioning WWE. Yeah, it had a whole bunch of people questioning WWE. And it had me even questioning WWE on their decision changing these matches 3 times. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why in the world would they be changing all of these matches? Why in the world would they change this match 3 times? Knowing they should have left it the way it was to begin with. And one of the podcasts that does their channel, one of the podcasts of their channel, that runs their channel, that does their wrestling reviews on their channel, one of them posted on Twitter yesterday and said something about that. And I'm trying to look for it. It was JD off the script. He said something about the way they were changing the matches, and I believed him, man, and I 100% agree with this guy, and I really did. I watched his full show yesterday. You know, he was talking about the Miz backstage heat, and I was doing a review on I think that was the day that I was doing a review on what was it, WrestleMania Part 2. I think that was the day when I was doing WrestleMania Part 2, and then that's the day I was talking about it. And I was telling everybody about it, you know, telling everybody, man, that the backstage heat's getting pretty intense, you know. The Miz, my thing is, the Miz shouldn't even showed up sick. He should, if they're saying that the Miz showed up at WrestleMania sick, he should have never been there to begin with. He should have stayed home with his wife for his wife, only for his wife to take care of him. You know what I'm saying? Because there was this rumor that The Miz was sick and ill. He had he came to work sick. He came to WrestleMania sick and all that. My thing is, how did he come to work? How did he come to WrestleMania sick? But I don't think that's what they were saying, though. I think they were saying something else. I think they were saying more than that. Because remember, on my live stream, on my WrestleMania 36 Part 2 full show results and review, remember that? I had that live stream posted on Twitter, and I had it running on Twitter, on YouTube as well. I was telling y'all about that backstage heat with The Miz. Remember, I was telling y'all that 2 days ago when I did my review on WrestleMania 36 Part 2. So, I kind of didn't understand why The Miz had backstage heat. Yeah, I was lost there for a second, and then I realized, when I started reading it, when I went to ringsidenews.com, their title said about a big update about The Miz backstage heat. The more I read it, the more I understand it. So due to Miz being sick, it explained why Jimmy, Big E, and The Miz wasn't there. That explained why Big E and Jimmy wasn't there, because The Miz was sick. And I think Roman Reigns and Jimmy and Jey Uso It didn't sit well with them. They weren't happy with it. That's what I'm trying to say. I think Jimmy and Jey Uso and Roman Reigns weren't happy with that. The fact they had to pull from WrestleMania because The Miz was sick, was ill. And I think The Miz was actually near Roman Reigns. And I think that's why Roman Reigns didn't come to WrestleMania in the first place. That, or they had an altercation or something. There was some Miz backstage heat rumor. And it was true. I talked about this 2 days ago on my live stream. On my review. I talked about this. I can't believe I'm still bringing this shit up. I'm over it, but I'm just telling y'all the truth, man. That backstage heat, to me, it was like drama. That's all I can freaking say about it. People always having backstage heat just to start drama. To me, I think, in my opinion, WWE superstars be having backstage heat to start drama. Some of them, or maybe it's Vince McMahon that's making them mad. I don't know. Seeing that JD talks about Vince McMahon a lot and how bad he's been doing in WWE and all that kind of bullshit. Okay, so I'm looking for off JD from Alt Scripts tweet. Where is it? Can't find it. Okay, so he literally had it somewhere. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find his tweet. I'm gonna read the rest of the stuff in a minute. I'm gonna read the rest of what occurred on Monday Night Raw in a minute. I am still trying to find that. So, he was like, okay, I found it. So, JD from Off the Script was like, what the fuck is wrong with people? You couldn't do the 6 man tagged 15 minutes ago. And he was right. They should have done it. But you know what? And I agree with him. But here's the thing. They should have left it the way it was. I think, in my opinion, they should have left it the way it was to begin with. They should have had the Street Fighters versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza, because WWE had this match planned for tonight's Monday Night Raw, on the Monday Night Raw card, on the match card. They had this planned. They had this tag team rematch planned. They should have went on with it instead of changing it. And so that's what happened. So, of course, Street Profits won by disqualification. So, yeah, Bianca Belair challenged Vega to a match. And commercial break, backward commercial break, it was Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega. Of course, the bell rings, and Vega talks trash before they lock up. Belair shoves her down before taunting her. They lock up again, and Belair shoves her down again. Vega runs away, and the ref keeps Belair back. Vega applies a side headlock, but Belair shoves her off, and it's a shoulder block. Belair does a cartwheel and clotheslines her. Vega kicks her back and slams her in the face. Keep in mind, her cartwheel is not like Hanson from the Viking Raiders, by the way. Her cartwheel, that's a new cartwheel that she did. Belair looks taken aback. She looks taken back. So she grabs her by the hair and beats her down. Belair throws Vega across the ring twice before shouldering her in the corner. Vega goes for a roll-up, but Belair backflips out. Zelina sidesteps her to send her shoulder first into the ring post. Vega then applies a stretch on the ropes. Vega rolls up Bianca for a 2 count. And Vega stomps the back and hits a DDT for a near fall. Vega talks trash and applies a modified chin lock. And Belair fights up with Vega on her back. Belair then counters into a suplex. Montez Ford goes nuts at ringside, which I don't blame him. If that was my wife, I think I'd go nuts too. Vega, especially if it was my wife wrestling in the ring. Vega boots Bianca back and comes off the second rope, but Belair catches her and hits a military press drop. Belair goes to hit the ropes, but Theory gets in her way. Ford pulls him out of the ring and brawls with him. Angelo Dawkins, meanwhile, chases Garza into the stands while Ford and Theory brawl into the ring, and the referee calls for the bell. Basically, no contest. Here's my thing. There was no sense in changing these matches to begin with. What was WWE thinking on that, on their part? I mean, I'm not mad at WWE, but I'm just saying, what was their... I mean, I don't have nothing... And I've said this before, I'm going to say this again. I have nothing, zero. I have zero. None. Nothing against WWE or nothing. But the simple fact that they changed the match 3 times, that was just... No offense, but that was just dumb. They should have just kept it the way it was to begin with. They should have just left it the way it should have been. They had this plan. They had this match planned. Austin Theory, Angel Garza versus Street Profits, Raw Tag Team Champions. They had this plan. They should have left it all alone the way it was. But they didn't. What did they do? Change the match into a Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega match. But then, they changed it into a 3-on-3 mixed tag match. It's like, what the fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? What in the world were they doing? So basically, it was a 6-person tag match. And more like a mixed tag match to me. Same thing. Basically. And that's what JD off the script and Tom and all of them were saying on Twitter. You know, why are WWE changing the match 3 times? And you know what? I was trying to figure that out too. That pissed me off. Like, why would you change the match 3 times when the match was fine the way it was? It should have been the Street Profits with Bianca Belair ringside versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza with Selena Vega ringside. Not turn around and have Selena Vega versus Bianca Belair and then put them in a 6-person tag match. And my thing is, it should have been a 6-person tag match to begin with. But then again, it should have been Street Profits versus Austin Theory. It should have been one of them. It should have either been the Street Profits versus Austin Theory, Angel Garza, or it should have been the Street Profits and Bianca Belair versus Austin Theory, Angel Garza, and Zelina Vega in a 6-person tag match. It should have been one of them. One or the other. Of course, WWE sometimes they can't make up their minds on what they want to do. You know, I mean, WWE's doing a good job. It's just sometimes they got to make up their minds on things and on matches that, you know, when they're planning something, they have to have it completely planned and not change it, or that's going to mess up their show. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving WWE a little bit of advice. Like, my advice to WWE is, you know, if you have a match put on the card already, don't change it. Unless someone is sick unless someone has the coronavirus, yeah, it's okay to change the match. But if nobody is sick and the match is put on the card and the match should go on, there's no need changing it. There's no need changing it, especially if the superstars are 100% healthy and not sick and not ill, like The Miz was last week. Yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is they need to leave it the way they need to leave it the way it is. They need to leave the matches the way they are, the way they're booked. They don't need to be changed. I can understand if someone's sick and they're changing the match, but if somebody's not sick and they're 100% healthy and they're 100% better, and they in the same, you know, and they're all in the, what I'm trying to say. What is it I'm trying to say? Y'all help me out here. What is it I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, if they're 100% healthy and they book the match on the card with the people that are not sick, you know, and then they all of a sudden they change it for no reason, there's no reason to be changing the matches. There's no reason to be changing it. If someone was sick, there is a reason to change the match. But if the person's not sick, and if the match is interesting, and if the match is interesting enough, and if the match is good, there is no need to change it. Keep it the way it is, period. But the point is, it should have been the Street Profits versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza to begin with. The match was planned and booked by WWE. They should have just kept it that way. And the show would have went on a whole lot better. Instead of wasting 15 minutes trying to change a match 3 fucking times. You know what I'm saying? No offense, but the truth has to be told. I mean, it's the truth behind it. You know. But you know what? I gotta admit, it was the great. It was. It's always great to see the EST of NXT, Bianca Belair. It was good seeing her debuting on Raw. Debuting on Raw so early though. WWE must have had some draft picks that already expired or something, because they're already putting Bianca Belair on the roster that quick. How do they know that they are putting her on the roster? Oh, so I wonder who else they're going to be calling up. So I wonder. I'm going to find out. I'm going to watch Friday Night SmackDown this Friday to find out who's being drafted to SmackDown and who's being called up from the NXT roster to Friday Night SmackDown roster. I'm going to watch Friday Night SmackDown this week, and I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out what they got. I'm going to find out what I'm going to watch. I'm probably going to watch a preview on one of the wrestling channels. Probably going to watch a preview. I am going to do a review on Friday Night SmackDown. It's probably going to be either Saturday morning or Friday night after it goes off. But I wonder what this Friday Night SmackDown is going to be like, though. But anyways, moving forward to this Monday Night Raw review. So, yeah, they changed the match a second time. To me, they changed it like 3 times. To me, I think they changed it like 3 times. I think two or three times both would have been enough. But the whole point is they should have never changed it. Should have kept it like it was. I said that probably 3-4 times already, but it's the truth behind it. I know I don't like repeating myself, but it's truth's got to be told. You know, they say the truth will set you free, right? Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure the truth will set me free, because I'm sure one of the WWE superstars is watching this live stream. They're probably like, I agree with this guy. They're probably thinking, yeah, you know what? I hate to admit it. I hate to have to agree with this guy, but I have to. I have to agree with this guy. This guy's probably right. You know, they're probably sitting with their thumbs together, probably like, you know what? I agree with this guy. I think WWE should have never changed that match, because the match was fine the way it is. I mean, what were they thinking on their part? Maybe, and probably one of the other WWE superstars that's watching probably be like, we need to have a talk with Vince about this. We need to ask Vince, what was the change? What was the holdup? What was the change? Why was 15 minutes wasted on changing those matches about 2-3 times? But anyways, so the match the second time was changed. It was the Street Profits and Bianca Belair versus Angel Garza, Austin Theory, and Selena Vega. So the match begins with Ford and Theory and the former cruiserweight champion, I think, catches the. I think it was referring to Angel Garza. Yeah. So the match began with Ford and Theory, and I think Theory had tagged Angel Garza, and the former cruiserweight champion catches the ladder with a drop kick. Ford puts Theory in the corner, unless it's referring to Theory as the former Evolve champion, maybe. But I just said former cruiserweight champion, because I'm thinking when Ford and Theory started off, that's when Theory tagged Angel Garza and looked at Montez Ford, probably said, that ain't happening. Probably did. Anyways, Ford puts Theory in the corner and chops the chest. Then does a few backflips and drop kicks. He drop kicks him after he does the backflips. Ford talks trash to Garza, allowing Theory to knock him to the outside. I would say, ouch, that's gotta hurt, but I don't really feel like saying that. Just like I said today that I wasn't gonna do no results or review. I'm just gonna do a review. Didn't feel like doing those matches today. I'm tired. My eyes are eyes feel blurry. I just want to get this over with quick, as quick as possible. Anyways, Theory goes out after after Ford slams him into the barricade, then back into the ring and stomps him down. Theory keeps Ford isolated and grounded with a front face lock. Ford starts to fight to his feet, but gets thrown from the ring to the floor. Theory goes out and throws him into the barricade, then back into the ring and applies a sleeper. So then Ford slowly fights to his feet and clocks Theory with an enziguri and tags his wife. Excuse me, Vega is Aleister Black's wife. What the hell did Ringside News wrote in their articles today? Excuse me, I mean, just saying. Vega is forced in thanks to the tag, and she rolls under a clothesline from Bianca. Baszler counters a tilt-a-war with a backbreaker and a gut busting. Baszler drop kicks Theory off the apron, then hits a moonsault onto Vega. But the pin is broken by Garza. Of course, the pin was going to be broken by one of the heels. We knew that was going to happen. Ford chases him out of the ring, and Theory drops him with a super kick. Dawkins then drops Theory and chases Garza to the back. Meanwhile, in the ring, Baszler hits a glam slam to the top turnbuckle, followed by the KOD for the win. Winner were the Street Profits, with a Raw Tag Team Champion, Street Profits, and the EST of NXT, Bianca Belair. So, we see still images from Bobby Lashley and Aleister Black last night. Bobby Lashley was interviewed backstage by Charlie Caruso after the match. She asked him what happened, and he says he needs new management or a new wife. Lana walks up and asks what they are talking about. Lashley says nothing and walks off. Lana then blames Charlie. So it was Aleister Black versus Apollo Crews. So the bell rings and Black takes a side headlock. Crews powers out and applies, listen up people, applies one of his own. Black reverses the tide again and takes Crews down by the wrist. So the match takes a while to get going, basically. It doesn't take a whole, but it takes a while. So once it took a while to get going, they hit some slaps until Aleister Black sits cross-legged in the ring, and Crews rolls. So then Crews rolls out. So then it went on commercial after that. And back for commercial break. Back live, last night, Aleister Black has Crews down on the mat by the arm. Apollo fights free and knocks Black from the ring. Crews goes out after Aleister, but gets punched repeatedly and kicked in the chest. Black runs at Crews, but gets hit with an overhead belly to belly on the floor. Crews gets Aleister back inside, but gets taken down and kicked. Black runs at Apollo Crews in the corner, but gets thrown over and hits the apron. Crews goes to the apron and kicks Black before hitting a moonsault. Another commercial break. How many? That was too. And here's another problem that messed up the show. WWE were doing too much commercial breaks. That's too many commercial breaks. They gotta limit the commercial breaks because it's too many. That's another thing WWE's got to work on. Limiting the commercial breaks. That's too much. I'm pretty sure some of the superstars on Twitter would agree with me on this when I say this. Some of the superstars, I'm sure, probably clicked on my live stream and is probably watching it right now. Those of you superstars that are watching, I hope you agree with me on this when I say this. I hope you agree with me when I say this. WWE needs to limit the commercials. That's another thing they need to work on. Limit the commercials and stop changing the matches when the matches that you've already booked are going well, or doing the matches that you already booked are already occurring, already begun. That's already started. But you all get my point. Seriously. That was just ridiculous. Them changing all the matches and then all these commercials. I'm pretty sure in Aleister Black and Apollo Crews in their mind, I'm pretty sure in their minds they were like, why in the world is WWE doing all these commercials? Some of these superstars, they're probably wondering why the world WWE doing all these commercials, changing all these matches. I know some of the superstars probably had something to say about that, and Nia Jax probably had something to say, at WWE about why they had her last that only 2 seconds or 5 seconds against Deonna Purrazzo. So, anyways. Back from yet another commercial break that WWE wasted. Probably wasted a few minutes of commercial break. Back live, and Crews hit a splash in the corner, followed by a clothesline for a 2 count. Apollo applies a headlock in the middle of the ring. Black fights up and kicks the call. Well, let's just say he kicks the hell out of a Crews until he collapses. I'm just gonna say that. Black runs at Crews but gets caught with a snap power slam. Crews looks for a standing moonsault, but his leg gives out because Aleister Black has injured the leg so bad that Apollo Crews' leg is completely given out, allowing Crews to pop up and kick him. I think Aleister Black's leg had given out. I think that we're referring to. This article is referring to Aleister Black's leg giving out. Crews catches Black with a sit out powerbomb for a near fall. That was a good spin out powerbomb by Crews, by the way. That goes to show how much power and how much agility this guy has in the ring. I think bringing Apollo Crews back to Raw made Apollo Crews feel good, because now he gets to be with the people that are chasing Mojo Rawley and Robert Gronkowski 24/7 title. They're chasing him, trying to get the title from him. Alright, so anyways, Crews punches Black over and over, then drops him before heading to the top rope. Crews attempts a splash, but nobody's home. Black applies a rolling knee bar to Crews, but he gets to the bottom rope. Black gets to his feet and Crews tries to stand, but his knee gives out. Black watches as Crews can't stand, even using the ropes. Black uses his boot to lift Crews and swings for Black mask, but Apollo ducks it. Apollo hits a pump kick and an enziguri that sends Black to the outside. That was a good reversal by Apollo Crews. Aleister Black probably, in his mind, he's probably thinking, Crews, you better be lucky I let you during. You better be lucky you reversed that. So, back from commercial break. And Crews is on the top rope with Aleister Black, but gets kicked off. Aleister jumps over him, then swaps him down, connects with a basement dropkick, and hits a springboard moonsault. Cruz counters Black and hits a drop kick, and both men are down. Apollo runs Black into the corner and puts him on the top rope. Cruz hits a superplex and crawls to make the pin, but Black kicks out. Black and Cruz get up, and Aleister unloads a flurry of strikes, only for Cruz to pick him up and hit a powerbomb for a near fall. Cruz still stumbling on the leg. He lifts Black above his head and drops him before hitting a standing moonsault and a standing shooting star press for a near fall. Apollo climbs to the top rope, but Aleister Black So once he kicked out, I think once he kicked out for 2, I think for a near fall. Yeah, once he kicked out for 2, Apollo climbs the top rope, but Aleister Black runs and jumps up to kick him. Black climbs up with him, but gets tossed off and onto his face. Cruz jumps at Black, but gets caught with a leaping knee. So then Black lifts Cruz with his boot, but Apollo holds his foot. Cruz swings for him, but Aleister ducks and hits Black mass for the win. That's one of the reasons why Aleister Black's one of my favorite superstars. That finisher he got, man, he kills it when he does that finisher. I just like the character, the babyface character of Aleister Black, period. He would look better as a heel, too. Some say he would look better as a heel, too. Some say he would look better as a babyface and a heel. WWE might try that one day with Aleister Black. Might try to turn him heel one day. If they give him a heel turn, they should have him look. If they give him a heel turn, they should have him looking like this. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, so if they give him a heel turn, they should have him looking like this. They should call him Wicked Aleister Black if they turn him heel. That would be great. Aleister Black should have some kind of paint thing, paint like gold dust. He would have some kind of paint, and he would look like this, Wicked Aleister Black. This would be great for him, a great costume for Aleister Black's heel turn. But I don't think they're going to turn him heel. I think he's better as a babyface than he is as a heel. I think he's better with a babyface than he is a heel, I think. Black sits cross-legged in the ring afterwards, but turns to look at Apollo Crews laying behind him, impressed. So Aleister Black was impressed with Apollo Crews and what he did in the ring. He was impressed with Apollo Crews. I could tell that look on Aleister Black's face told me and all of us that he was impressed with Apollo Crews and what he could do in the ring. So I think in Aleister Black's eyes, he thinks Apollo Crews is a truly worthy opponent with agility and speed. Apollo Crews basically took Aleister Black to his limit. That's why Aleister Black looked at Apollo Crews impressed the way he looked. That's why he looked at him like that, the way he looked at him. That's why he looked at him like that, because Alex Black was impressed with Apollo Crews, and he realized that Apollo Crews showed him that, you know, that he can take any superstar to the limit, and he did just that with Aleister Black. He took Aleister Black to the limit. That impressed Aleister Black. So then, after that match, after Aleister Black's victorious, glorious victory over Apollo Crews, of course, there was this match between Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Basically, what happened with this match, I'll tell y'all what all happened with this match between Ricochet and Cedric Alexander versus Danny Burch and Arnie Larkin. Like I said, Danny Burch and Arnie Larkin remind me of the Revival. Those guys do remind me of the Revival. Their style, what they do in the ring, reminds you of the Revival, I'm sure. Those guys do remind you of those guys. They remind you of Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Sort of that team. And basically, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander reminds you of Ricochet and Aleister Black, how they teamed up. We just talked about one of my favorite superstars, Aleister Black. So anyways, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander seems to be a good team. So WWE is looking to form yet another team, another new team for their Monday Night Raw roster. Monday Night Raw is looking to build a new team for their Monday Night Raw roster, because they are running, I think Monday Night Raw are about to run out of teams, and the OC could be going to SmackDown. That's probably why Ricochet and Cedric Alexander is forming a team together, because one of the teams could be going to Friday Night SmackDown, and I think it's probably going to be the OC, more than likely, because they've been on Raw for so long. AJ Styles hasn't even been on SmackDown in a while. Hasn't been on SmackDown for a long time. Or AJ Styles might stay on Raw. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows could go to SmackDown. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows have not wrestled on the SmackDown roster. The only time they wrestled on the SmackDown roster is when they were the club with AJ. They never wrestled on a roster. They never wrestled as a team on a roster without AJ being on a SmackDown roster with them. But anyways, back to what I was reading on this match between Cedric Alexander and Ricochet versus Danny Burch and Arnie Larkin, 2-man tag team match. So, what happened with this match was that Cedric Alexander starts against Danny Burch, and Burch takes him down by the leg and tags in Arnie Larkin. Larkin and Burch chop Alexander repeatedly. Larkin applies a front face lock. Alexander fights up, but Larkin European uppercuts him. Burch tags in and forearms away at Alexander, then chops him down for a 2 count. Burch goes to a chin lock, but Alexander fights up, drops him, and both men are down. Ricochet and Larkin are tagged in. Ricochet kicks him back, but Larkin big boots him. Ricochet quickly hits him with a Hurricane Rana, but Burch breaks up the pin attempt. Burch sends Cedric out of the ring, and Ricochet hits Burch with a springboard dropkick that knocks him to the floor. Alexander tags in and hits an inverted atomic drop, followed by an enziguri from Ricochet. Alexander hits a front suplex, followed by a standing shooting star press from Ricochet. Ricochet tags back in. Alexander hits the neutralizer on Morgan. Before hitting Birch with a suicide dive, Ricochet hits Lorcan with the recoil for the win. Sorry, I had to stop for a moment because I heard something. So the winners were Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. They both seem like a good tag team. Perfect tag team. We don't know what this team could be. We don't know what to name this tag team. Yes, WWE will come up with one for them. So it was still to come. Seth Rollins live, and they see the Boneyard match. So it was Seth Rollins live and the Boneyard match still to come. So then we see a highlight of Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania Night 1. Then we got an interview with Kevin Owens earlier today. Owens says, which that was last night. That was yesterday last night. He took so much for months with many blindsides. Was it all worth it? When he came off that sign and stunned Rollins, he got his WrestleMania moment. It was all worth it, no matter what he does next. He is here to stay and will keep fighting because this is the Kevin Owens show. So then, they had Seth Rollins versus Denzel from NXT. Seth rushes Denzel. Right as the bell rings, he beats him down in the corner until the referee tells him to stop. Denzel rolls from the ring and Seth goes after him and slams him into the barricade. Rollins gets Denzel back in the ring and hits the stomp for the win. So basically, the former Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax returns after the break. She has finally returned from injury. She finally returned from injury last night on Monday Night Raw. So it was Nia Jax versus Deonna Purrazzo. I feel bad for Deonna Purrazzo. I took to Twitter and said some nice things about her. So, by the way, referee rings the bell and Jax shoves Deonna into the corner. Jax screeches at Deonna, then drops her with a right hand. Jax drags Deonna around the ring by the hair and slaps her in the face. Jax with two short arm clotheslines. Jax hits a Samoan drop followed by a DDT for the win. I felt bad for Deonna Purrazzo because Nia Jax didn't even give her a chance to get up. Nia Jax was ready. She was, I guess she was excited. She was in her excited mood. I mean, I don't blame her. But at least give your best friend, at least give your friend a chance to get up. We see a truncate version of the Boneyard match from WrestleMania between AJ Styles and Undertaker. So then it was Humberto Carrillo versus Brandon Vink. Of course, Humberto Carrillo did pick up a victory over Brandon Vink last night. After he picked up a victory over Brandon Vink, and I'm going to tell you how that match ended, how he picked up that victory. Carrillo hit a drop kick followed by an enziguri. Humberto hit a rolling moonsault, then heads up top and hits a assy moonsault for the win. That's how he defeated Brandon Vink, ladies and gentlemen. Vink fought back, but it wasn't enough. Carrillo was the better man in this matchup. So it went on commercial break after that. Oh my god. I feel like they've been doing commercials on this show for probably about 5-6 times already. That's too much commercial time. That's wasting television time for some of the talent that needs to get in the ring, cut promos and wrestling stuff. You know, it's wasting some of those talents' time. So anyways, after a break, we got to hear from the NXT Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, last night. And I was praised. She rightfully deserves to be the two-time NXT Women's Champion. Oh, she's an 11th time champion now. She was a 10-time champion. Now she's 11th time champion. But she's a 2-time NXT champion. And she's won. She's held the Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, and she even retired the Divas Championship. And now she stands at the 2-time NXT Women's Champion. She says she makes the title, not the other way around. And Rhea Ripley, she was alright, but she, like everyone else, bowed down to the Queen. So there was highlights of Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre are shown from the last night. Last night, after the break, we see a clip of what happened after that match. Drew McIntyre was interviewed in the ring after his match, after his Wrestlemania win last night. He says it's hard to believe it's real. He hasn't had a chance to talk to anyone or his friends. But he did get the nameplates changed. However, he wants to thank Paul Heyman, and he knows that sounds weird. He came into the match mentally and physically prepared. And when Brock Lesnar came down the ramp, he saw in his eyes that he was ready for war. Paul Heyman told him to keep hitting the F5, and that shows that he doesn't know Drew McIntyre, because every time he's been knocked down, he gets back up. So when Brock Lesnar hits an F5, he got angry. Another F5, and he got angrier. He refused to surrender, and he would have hit as many claymores as it took. Out comes the Big Show to interrupt Drew McIntyre, bringing a referee with him. Show congratulates Drew and says he looks great, but now there's a locker room full of talented competitors looking for a chance. Big Show says it's a big man's world, and Drew is big, but he's not giant. Drew says he knows where this is going, but Show says he doesn't know crap, basically. He doesn't know shit, basically. He doesn't want to challenge him for the WWE Championship now or at Money in the Bank, but they're both out here and ready to go. Drew says he's not competing after beating Brock Lesnar. Show says that doesn't sound like what he just said about getting angry, but he doesn't see anger. All he sees is fear. McIntyre says this isn't his first day, and he isn't afraid of Big Show or anyone else, so there's nothing he can do to make him compete tonight. Big Show slaps McIntyre across the face, and Drew unstraps his belt. WWE Championship match. It was the Big Show versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Of course, the bell rings. Drew unloads on Big Show, knocking him into the corner. Show whips McIntyre into the corner, but Drew comes back with a big boot. Drew hits the ropes, and Big Show drops him with a shoulder. So Big Show backs McIntyre into the corner and punches him, then closes his back. So then the Big Show hits a body slam, then chokes McIntyre using the bottom rope. So then the Big Show hits another body slam and talks McIntyre a headbutt from Show that sends McIntyre reeling. Show hits a clubbing blow to the chest, then climbs the ropes and hits a splash for a near fall. Big Show slaps McIntyre's chest, and again, followed by a body slam. He chokes McIntyre on the top rope and yells at him, asking what he's made of. McIntyre dodges another slap and hits Big Show, but gets grabbed by a choke slam. Drew avoids the choke slam and hits Show with a body slam of his own. McIntyre goes to the top rope and jumps at Big Show, but gets caught and hits a choke slam for a near fall. Big Show readies the WMD, but Drew ducks it and hits a Claymore kick for the win. So Drew McIntyre did 2 matches in one night. That's impressive. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the Monday Night Raw review. I hope you all have yourselves a good Tuesday. And tune in on either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, because I'll be reviewing NXT. I'll be doing the NXT results review. So tune in for that day, for either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe out there. Stay away from the corona. Stay 6 feet away from people. Wash your hands, sanitize your hands, and all that stuff, so you won't get the coronavirus. Stay safe out there. Thanks for watching my review. See you all next time.